सर्वत्रिकावर्तियन्ताणम् ओम नमो लोये सर्वत्रिकावर्ति सिद्धाणम् ओम नमो लोये सर्वत्रिकावर्ति आर्याणम् ओम नमो लोये सर्वत्रिकावर्ति उज्जैनम् ओम नमो लोये सर्वत्रिकावर्ति श्रावणम् ओंकारं बिंदु संयुक्तं नित्यं ध्यायन्ति योगिनं कामदं मोक्षदं चैव ओंकाराय नमो नमः नमः समयसाराय स्वानुभूत्या चिकासते चित्स्वभावाय भावाय सर्वभावान्तरच्छिदे अज्ञानतिमिरन्धनं ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः तीर्थंकरो जगतना जयवंत वर्तो ओंकारनाद जिननो जयवंत वर्तो जिनना समो शरण सौ जयवंत वर्तो ने तीर्थचार जगमा जयवंत वर्तो नमो हे तीर्थनायक ने नमो ओंकारनाद ने ओंकार संगरते ने नमो ते श्री कुंड कुंड ने अहो उपकार जिन वरनो कुंड ध्वनि देवेनो जीन कुंद धनिया प्या अहो ते गुरु काननो अहो ते भगवती मातनो ध्रुव अचल ने अनुपम गति पामेल सर्वे शीतने वंदी कहो सुख केवल भाषिक आसमय करे एक शुद्ध सदा रूपी ज्ञान दर्शनमय खरे कई अन्य ते मारो जरी परमाणु मात्र नथी हरे जम नेत्र ते मज ज्ञान नथि कारक नथि वेदक अरे जाने ज कर मोदय निरजरा बंदते मज मोक्ष ओम सिद्धेदेव ओम नमः सिद्धेदेव ओम श्री शुद्धात्माने नमः Jai Jindra everybody. Today is September 13, 2017, Wednesday, and we are going to continue our class on Samaysar, stanza 12. So let me bring the slides. Okay, so we are on Samaysar stanza 40, stanza number 12. And last time we were on the stanza 44, and at the time Ankit has raised a question, and so we will entertain that question also, and just go for it. We did not have enough time, and actually I also didn't know the answer. Both the things were there. And I checked with the Heman Bhai and I would answer correct answer. So we will just go through those things. So number one, what is stanza number 12 telling us? Stanza number 12 in general tells us, hold it, I think it's not sharing. We share the screen. Yes. Okay, so stanza number 12 basically is the one in which Acharya Bhagwan says, Kunkun Acharya Dev says, that one who does not have Samyak Darshan, one who has not obtained purity of the soul yet, one who has not experienced the soul, one who does not have self-realization. For that person, the partial point of view, etc., are not present, because when one experiences the soul, which is called fourth spiritual development stage, and at that time he experiences soul, that means he has purity beginning in him. And when the purity begins, that means the actual experiencing of the soul is called absolute point of view. But in the beginning, soul is not all the time in actual experiencing phase all the time. He just has it, and then he just comes out of the experiencing phase. Means he also still has a rag and dvesh. He has a inclination of aversion, inclination of attachment, and because of those things present, he comes out of his experiencing phase, and now his focus gets directed to the alien objects of the universe. What is the main alien object of the universe? The physical body. Means when I'm in the experiencing phase, I'm experiencing the soul. When I'm out of that experiencing phase, then my attention is focused on the body and all five senses and objects of five senses. Thereafter, the purity keeps on increasing progressively, and soul ends up staying within its own pure nature, each time somewhat longer. And ultimately, when the soul remains in the experiencing phase all the time, non-stop, completely, forever, that is called omniscience phase, 13th spiritual development stage. And from 13, he goes to 14, and then he becomes liberated soul. And all the time, 13 spiritual stage, 14 spiritual stage, and liberated soul phase, the soul ends up remaining in its own supersensuous bliss and omniscience knowledge forever and ever and ever. His bliss is uninterrupted. So, first spiritual development stage is wrong belief, in which attention is entirely focused on the alien objects of the universe. That means it is focused on the body, five senses, and objects of five senses. At the fourth spiritual development stage, he experiences the soul transiently, and then progressively his intensity and timing of experiencing of the soul keeps on increasing till 12th spiritual development stage. From 4th to 12th spiritual development stage, those stages are called the aspirant stage. Means now the person, he is aspirant. He is now seeking for the truth. He is on the path of truthfulness. He is on the path of self-realization. He has obtained self-realization. So from 4th to 12th spiritual stage, it's a path of stages of aspirant. And 13th spiritual stage, it becomes the total experiencing omniscient stage. Totally ignorant stage, first spiritual development stage. 4th to 12th stage is an aspirant stage, in which there is experiencing of the soul is there. And 13th onwards, 13, 14 and liberated soul, that means the soul is now in everlasting pure bliss and complete knowledge. So these are the three phases are there. So the 12th stanza mainly goes for the 4th to 12th spiritual development stage, in which when the experiencing of the soul occurs, means he has an absolute point of view, and while he is out of the experiencing phase, and he's now directed his attention to the physical body and five senses, an object of five senses, then it's called conventional point of view. Absolute point of view means there is an experiencing phase of the soul. Conventional point of view means when he is out of the experience and when his attention is focused to the alien objects, means he has a inclination of attachment, inclination of aversion, means he has rag and dvesh. Of course, these rag and dvesh are much, much, much milder than what he used to have it on the first spiritual development stage. So here, the absolute point of view and conventional point of view, those partial point of view phases, they are seen from the fourth spiritual development stage to 12th spiritual development stage, because at that time mainly soul has a knowledge through the scriptural knowledge, srutagnan, scriptural knowledge or sacred knowledge, we can say sacred knowledge or scriptural knowledge. So that partial point of views are always present in the sacred knowledge or spiritual knowledge phase. On 13th spiritual development stage, now he has a complete knowledge, his omniscience knowledge, his scriptural knowledge or that sacred knowledge disappears now. For example, when there is a sunlight, when there is a day, and this cloudy day, then sun is throwing the light, and the light gets filtered through the clouds, and we are getting indirect lighting. But when the clouds are no more there, then sun is completely purely shining, and we are getting direct light from the sun. Similarly, sacred knowledge is called so-called indirect knowledge. It is kind of not a complete knowledge. And omniscience knowledge is a complete knowledge, absolute knowledge, total knowledge. What is this total knowledge means? Means this soul in the omniscient stage knows the eternal soul completely, and at the same time he enjoys the bliss completely. Supersensuous bliss is being enjoyed perfectly, and at the same time this soul also knows the alien objects of the universe. Every alien objects of the universe means every other soul, every other matter, medium of motion, medium of rest, space and time, all those things, past, present, and their future modes. Within one moment, one summit, the omniscient knowledge knows all those things. So this is the complete knowledge, absolute knowledge, perfect knowledge. So there is no partial point of view present in this perfect knowledge. So now, knowing that basic point, over here, Acharya Bhagwan tells us that I'm talking to you from 4th to 12th spiritual development stage, in which there are partial point of views are present. So in the first bullet, what it says, from the initial state of experiencing of the soul, which is a 4th spiritual development stage, the pure point of view, or called Swadhay, pure point of view becomes operational. As we say, when experiencing phase starts, the absolute point of view and convention point of view, they both become operational. Swadhay, pure point of view or absolute point of view, meanings are same. Now, sorry. This partial point of view means this pure point of view or absolute point of view, it lasts till the soul ends up with complete and total experiencing of the eternal true nature in the omniscient stage. In between 4th and 12th spiritual development stage, there is a operational partial point of views are present, means absolute point of view and conventional point of view are present, because between the fourth and 12th spiritual development stage, there is evidence of there is a presence of scriptural knowledge, or other name sacred knowledge. So that means pure partial point of views are always present in scriptural knowledge. Okay, so here the scriptural knowledge is present, and that's why there is a partial point of views are present. Now, next thing, at the omniscient state, the result of a pure point of view is now achieved. Pure point of view means absolute point of view. Now, absolute point of view's job was to make sure that one gets engrossed totally, unconditionally, uninterruptedly in its own pure nature of the soul forever. So at the omniscient state, that stages are achieved. So at the omniscient state, the pure point of view comes to an end. 2 points. Omniscience knowledge. It's a complete knowledge, absolute knowledge, total knowledge. There is no sacred knowledge present now. Just like the day, when the cloud is present, we are seeing the sunlight indirectly. But when the sun is shining and no clouds are there, then we are perceiving the sunlight directly. There is no need for indirect lighting. Same way, omniscience knowledge is there. So now the sacred knowledge or the scriptural knowledge comes to an end. And remember, the partial point of views are present only in the scriptural knowledge. So, at omniscience level, the pure point of view as well as conventional point of view are getting known. Means they were present. Omniscience knowledge says that okay, because omniscience knowledge is a past, present, future knowledges. Omniscience knowledge knows past, present, future of each and every every substances of the universe, including the nature of the soul also. So at this point, what is happening? That the pure point of view and conventional point of view, they were present in the past. That's all they were being perceived that way. Now, one must remember that during the aspirant stage, there is presence of conviction and experience of the soul as well as associated conventional point of view. Means at the aspirant stage, from 4 to 12 spiritual development stage, we have absolute point of view and conventional point of view. Both partial point of views are present. Scriptural knowledge means Sutagnan is the basis during the aspirant stage, and the conventional point of view, aspirant absolute point of view are part of the scriptural knowledge. Now, omniscient Lord knows that these states were present before. That's all. Now, the question at this point, Ankit has raised, and at the time I did not have an answer for that. Over here in this slide, we just say that at omniscience level, the total knowledge is complete, and there is no scriptural knowledge present. That means there is no evidence of a partial point of view. So then, how come omniscient Lord knows these states when the scriptural knowledge is not present and partial point of views are present in scriptural knowledge? How come omniscience knowledge ends up knowing those kind of things? That was the question raised. Once again, let's go through the question first. Understand the question. Question was raised that partial point of views are present only from 4 to 12 spiritual development stage. And here, omniscient stage, omniscient Lord, is a 13th spiritual development stage. So there is no presence of any partial point of view. And here we are saying that he knows about conventional point of view and absolute point of view, all those things. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to the people. So what does it mean?
Kirit uncle.
Yeah.
Before you give the answer, could I say my 2 cents?
Please.
So I thought the way I understood it was omniscient knowledge has infinitely many nays. Only Surtali's nay is delineated, but I thought that omniscient knowledge has all of the nays.
Remember, the first point, the nay is partial point of view is only present, only operational, and only present from 4th to 12th spiritual development stage. And now we are in 13th stage. So why did you bring this partial point of view and nay in this omniscience knowledge? That's a question. Sultan is 9, everything is there, but they are in aggregate form, they are present. They are not present in a divisional form. They are aggregate form. Omniscience knowledge is total knowledge, complete knowledge. There is no divisional aspect. Did we understand the question? The question is, partial point of view are present only from 4th to 12th spiritual development stage. And here we are saying on 13th spiritual development stage, conventional point of view and absolute point of view are known also. So what does that mean? That was the question. Answer to that question, remember that it's true that scriptural, that in partial point of views are only present from 4th to 12th spiritual development stage. So here is an aspirant soul. He is between 4th and 12th spiritual development stage. He is an enlightened soul. He has not become omniscient soul yet. When he is thinking, when this aspirant soul between 4th and 12th spiritual development stage is thinking about it, his reflective thoughts, and in the reflective thoughts, he says, he thinks about it, that how is omniscient state? Well, in an omniscient state, he knows everything, including conventional point of view and absolute point of view. So that kind of reflective thoughts, those kind of reflective thoughts are occurring to the aspirant soul about the nature of the omniscience, that omniscience Lord. And that's what this is, this thing is present in an aspirant soul's reflective thoughts. Remember, the partial point of views, absolute point of view, and conventional point of view, all those things are present in a reflective thoughts, in a vikalp dasha. Now, experiencing of the soul, total experiencing of the soul, which remains forever, unconditional, uninterrupted. At that time, there is a primary abstract comprehension, means there is nirvikalpta. And there is no nay during nirvikalpta. Nay are present, partial point of view are present only during reflective thoughts. Omniscience Lord does not have reflective thoughts. He does not have, he knows everything in total. And that's why when the aspirant stage from 4 to 12 spiritual development stage, when he's in the reflective thought process, then the partial point of view becomes operational. That means absolute point of view and conventional point of views are present. And also reflective thoughts in general are present on a fourth spiritual development stage, fifth spiritual development stage, and sixth spiritual development stage. On the seventh onwards, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, the soul is in a primary abstract comprehension state. So he does not have any reflective thoughts. So mainly, night that we talked about, partial point of view that we are talking about, absolute point of view, convention point of view, pure point of view, all those things are reflective thoughts, and reflective thoughts are present from fourth, fifth, and sixth spiritual development stage. Seventh onwards, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, they are the primary abstract comprehensive state. So the answer that Ankit has brilliantly raised that question, that how come omniscient Lord knows this convention point of view and absolute point of view when in fact there is no presence of partial point of view there, because there is no presence of reflective thoughts, there is no presence of scriptural knowledge. So answer to that in the reflective thought process of the aspirant soul, when he is thinking about omniscient Lord, he thinks that omniscient Lord, he had known all those things before, but now he does not have all those nai present within him. All those partial points of view are not present within him. That is the thought occurring in the aspirant soul during the reflective thought process. Ankit, does it make any sense to the question that you raised at the time? Ankit?
The signal was kind of bad, so you broke away. So can you just say the last bit, please?
Okay. The aspirant soul, in his reflective thoughts, means at the fourth spiritual development stage, fifth spiritual development stage, sixth spiritual development stage, he has a reflective thoughts presence also when he is out of the experiencing phase. For example, here is a soul, he is into the experiencing phase right now. So he is in primary abstract comprehension, nirvikalpa. But the same soul, when it comes out of the primary abstract comprehension, means nirvikalpa, then he is having the reflective thoughts. In that reflective thoughts, that aspirant soul says how omniscient Lord used to know those things. And omniscient Lord in the past has known those things. That kind of reflective thoughts are occurring in the aspirant soul. So the sentence that at the omniscient stage, the partial point of views are present for knowing purpose only, it is occurring in the reflective thoughts of the aspirant souls.
Okay, so then that means that Kevali Bhagwan or 13th Gun Sanjeev will know the vikalp of the Atmarthi. They won't know the actual Nai because they have complete Gyan.
Because he has a complete knowledge now.
Okay, that's clear.
The partial point of view has to have reflective thoughts, and omniscient Lord does not have reflective thoughts. He is in a primary abstract comprehension. He is on a nirvikalpa state all the time now.
So he sees the thoughts and the vikalps of other jeev.
He can see this thing, yeah. That's it. So
that's the extent of what Kevali Bhagwan knows.
Yeah. It's present in those souls. That's all he will know it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
Does it make sense to other people? Because that time, I think Ankit was only present, so we had a long discussions, those things, and this is kind of a little shorter version. We did that one.
It's clear.
Yeah, Kirit Uncle, it's a really good question and a good answer. I'm wondering if in Samaysar this was also raised or in the commentary as a question answer. or not?
Definitely. I mean, how will you or me or any Pravachankar, he or she will know it? Because Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami has made these kind of explanations. Now, when Gurudev used to give explanations in Samaysar during the lectures, he used to read he used to give lecture at least once a day on Samaysar for 45 years. And he read Samaysar, he analyzed Samaysar, all 415 stanzas 19 times. Each time he will take Samaysar, it will last for 2 years or 2.5 years, like that. So in the discourses, he explained these things. Sometimes, if it is not clear to the recipients, then in the evening after his dinner, he used to walk in the Swadhay hall, in the lecture hall. He used to walk, exercise. And at the time, the male members will be walking with him because it's already night time, So women were not, I'm not allowed to be there. So males were there. And so if the question is being raised in somebody's mind, they will also ask question at the time in the night charcha, in the night discussions. And those are the things are made clarified. So yes, those are the things are absolutely clarified in Samaysar, because he has dissected each and every small little things in a perfect way. Just one example, if we take it, which we have gone through very first stanza, when the Amrit Chandracharya write down commentary. The commentary, Kunkunacharya Dev wrote down Samaysar close to 2000 years back on the palm leaves with the palm needles. With our fortune, our great fortune, somehow those palm leaves, they were preserved by the mumukshus, by the followers. And after 1000 years of Kunkunacharya Dev passing away, Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev came. And he wrote down commentary on Samaysar. On the first stanza, very first stanza, Dhruva achalane anupama gati pamela sarve siddhane vandi kahun sutta kevali pasit asame pravrat pare. So Kunkunacharya Dev wrote down these 2 lines only. And Amrit Chandra Acharya Dev wrote down commentary in Sanskrit. And the very first word is called atha. A-T-H, atha. Atha is a word. That word atha means now. Literal meaning of that word is now. Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami, when he read that word now, atha, Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami said, this is Manglik. Manglik means it is auspicious. Wait a second. Word now, quote unquote now. How can that word be auspicious? N-O-W. There's nothing more about it. It's just now. That's it. Why does it mean it's auspicious? It's Manglik. Because till present moment, I used to be in certain frame of mind. And now I give up those wrong thought process. And now I'm beginning to understand the right process. So ending of the wrong process and beginning of the right process means it is auspicious. So little, excuse me, little word like author, and Gurudev Sri Kanji Swami came out and made the meaning as it is called Manglik. It is a very auspicious word. So this kind of thing, he had dissected each and every small words and expanded the horizon for our understanding. So we are absolutely, absolutely super fortunate that we have all these things available in front of us today. Anyway, so we are going to go to the next line. Omniscient knowledge ends up knowing whole universe.
Could I ask a question before we leave that?
Please,
I'm
please.
sorry. My Buddhist background and two of the books you and Dilip gave me have me confused on one elementary item. Which comes first, nirvana or omniscience?
Okay, nirvana means complete detachment from the body also. And omniscience means there is a omniscience knowledge with physical body. So 13th spiritual development stage is called omniscient stage with physical body, and 14th stage onward, in 14th spiritual development stage, the physical body gets dissociated, and it is very extreme short time. 13th spiritual development stage can last for a long time. For example, Mahavir Swami, our 24th Tirthankar, he obtained the omniscient stage at a 13th spiritual development stage. And so at that time, he is a physical body present, his speech is present, mind is present, and he is omniscience knowledge. So it's called Sayogi Kevli. Sa-yogi. Yog means mind, speech, and body. Sa means with physical body, speech, and mind. He has omniscience knowledge. On 14th spiritual development stage, which is a very short time, that omniscience Lord gives up his physical body, speech, and mind, and now the soul is totally karma free and goes to the top of the universe and stays there forever, which is called nirvana. So nirvana means omniscience knowledge without having any physical body, means pure soul only. So 13th spiritual development stage, Mahavir Swami lasted from age 42 all the way up to age 72, 30 years. For Rishabdev Bhagwan, the first Lord, he lasted in that stage for about close to 1,000 years. So that thing can vary. Madinath Bhagwan stayed in the stage for 1 day only. So that stage, 13th spiritual development stage, could be short, could be long, but it is with the omniscient stage, with physical body. And thereafter, when they give it up, then it becomes nirvana, means now the pure soul is without physical body, without mind, without speech, and it's a free soul. So that happens beyond 14th spiritual development stage. The 14th stage is called ayogi kevli. O means not, yogi means physical body, speech, and mind. So speech, mind, and body, they get dissociated on 14th stage, and now the soul is completely free from all those attachments, and goes to the adobe of Siddha, lasts there forever in uninterrupted bliss and knowledge. Does it make sense, Kathy?
Ultimately. Thank you so much.
Now we'll go to the next one. Omniscience knowledge ends up knowing whole universe. Now remember, knowing the whole universe is not a big deal. Knowing the whole universe, but at that time, this omniscient soul also is totally engrossed within his self uninterruptedly. And that is called real omniscience knowledge. when he has a pure knowledge and absolute engrossment into the self, at that time his knowledge is like a pure mirror. Everything, whole universe is getting reflected, is illuminated in that knowledge mode. That's it. He doesn't go out and make any effort. Mirror does not go out and make effort to show my face, or to show the house, or to show whatever. Same way, omniscience knowledge, omniscient Lord, he experiences himself absolutely uninterruptedly forever and ever. And at that time, his knowledge is so pure, everything is getting illuminated from the universe, past, present, and the future of all the modes of every substances get illuminated there. So that is your omniscience knowledge, right? Now, therefore, he already knows absolute point of view, conventional point of view in total. Actually, can I take 1 minute break, because I'm in Sedona right now. I'm sitting outside in the lobby. There are lots of mosquitoes, so I'm going to go inside. So please give me 1 minute, okay? I'll just change over. I'm sorry, I'm back. So this is a complete knowledge. So omniscient Lord knows everything, including absolute point of view, conventional point of view, not through the reflective thought process, but he knows everything, including an absolute point of view, conventional point of view. It also therefore knows the presence of pure point of view in the aspirant soul's life. Remember, this is the soul who is an aspirant soul. He is from the 4th to 12th spiritual development stage, and he has reflective thoughts. And in the reflective thought, he has an absolute point of view and conventional point of view. That means pure point of view and conventional point of view. So therefore, omniscience knowledge also knows presence of pure point of view in aspirant soul's life. Okay, knowing that part, as there is no need for scriptural knowledge. Now, in the omniscience knowledge, there is no need for scriptural knowledge. When the sun is brightly shining without any cloud, I'm perceiving the direct sunlight. I'm not perceiving the sunlight filtered through the clouds. Scriptural knowledge is like the sunlight that is filtered and it's been perceived indirectly. But the omniscience knowledge is pure, just like sunlight coming without any interruption through the clouds. So there is no scriptural knowledge is presence. And that means there is no need for any pure point of view in omniscience knowledge. So omniscience knowledge, there is no operational work capacity for this absolute point of view and conventional point of view, pure point of view. All those partial point of view, they are not in operational phase. So omniscient knowledge simply knows that, okay, they were present, period, that's it. Just like everything else, past, present, future is perceived, so that was there. So it is mainly for knowing purpose only. he doesn't adore that one. There is no adoration for this pure point of view in omniscient knowledge. That adoration of the pure point of view or absolute point of view was present only during aspirant phase. But in omniscient knowledge, there is no need for it. Therefore, motive of the pure point in the omniscient knowledge is for knowing purpose only. It is not operational. The pure point of view or absolute point of view, the purpose for the absolute point of view is over in the omniscient knowledge. Because job of the absolute point of view is to keep the soul into the experiencing phase uninterruptedly. So in this omniscient knowledge, now I am remaining in uninterrupted phase in my soul. So pure point of view's job is over. So now it is simply there in the past, and omniscient knowledge knows only. It's knowing purpose only. Janelo projanvan che, adrelo projanvan nathi. Means it is only for knowing purpose. Motive for the pure point of view in omniscient knowledge is for knowing purpose only. It is not for adoration purpose. Question arises over here that pure point of view is only present in the aspirant soul with scriptural knowledge. Then how come omniscient knowledge knows pure point of view? Omniscient knowledge is complete. As we said before, from 4th to 12th spiritual chapter, that's an aspirant's phase. And the pure point of view is only present there in the scriptural knowledge. So how come omniscient knowledge knows this pure point of view? Pure point of view shows the eternal true nature of the soul. Pure point of view, absolute point of view, job is to show the eternal pure nature of the soul. When one takes refuge in the eternal nature of the self, then there is right faith, right knowledge, right conduct. Those things arise. So technically, pure point of view means eternal true nature of the soul. Absolute point of view means eternal true nature of the soul. Remember, here I am the soul as a substance. I have knowledge as an attribute, and I have modes occurring. Modes are occurring. Activity in this complete soul only occurs in the mode. So, in the mode, there is absolute point of view and conventional point of view. Absolute point of view's job is to take my attention away from the alien objects of the universe and bring it to the eternal true nature of the soul. That's the job of the absolute point of view or pure point of view. Acharya Bhagavan uses word pure point of view in this stanza. It means absolute point of view. Now, in aspirant stage, the pure point of view is operational because in an aspirant soul, it wants to stay getting engrossed into the self. At 4th spiritual development stage, I get experiencing of the soul transiently, very minimal time. And thereafter, my rag and dvesh are still operational, and I end up bringing my attention to the alien objects of the universe. Means physical body mainly. So, aspirant stage, the pure point of view's job is to keep the soul in the experiencing phase uninterruptedly. It keeps on trying, It starts at 4th and it ends at 12th spiritual development stage. In omniscient knowledge, the function of the pure point of view is over, because job of the pure point of view was to keep soul into the eternal true nature of the self, to get engrossed uninterruptedly. And that point is achieved in the omniscient state. So pure point of view's job is over. Their operation is now complete. So that's why it is not meant for adoration purpose. In the aspirant soul, yes, I would like to go within, I would like to stay within, I would like to remain engrossed within. And for that thing, I have to have adoration or give the importance to pure point of view. But in omniscient stage, that job is achieved. So that pure point of view is not operational at that time. Therefore, in omniscience knowledge, it says that the pure point of view is known only. State of taking refuge is present only during aspirant stage. State of refuge, to take refuge in the pure point of view, is present only in the aspirant phase from 4th to 12th spiritual stage. It is not operational now in the 13th spiritual stage. Again, partial point of view occurs in scriptural knowledge. Pure point of view is a mode of the scriptural knowledge. Object of the pure point of view is the eternal true nature of the soul. So from this perspective, with the help of the pure point of view, when one experiences eternal true nature of the soul, then this manifested state of eternal true nature is also known as pure point of view. Here is a little bit twist coming. The partial, as we say, the substance, knowledge attribute, and knowledge mode. Action in any given substance, here we are talking soul, but any substance, occurs only in the mode. So mode is a one where the actions are being perceived. So the partial point of view, absolute point of view, convention point of view, all those things are present for 4 to 12 spiritual development state. Now, job of the pure point of view is to keep the soul into the experiencing phase all the time. So job, that mode, the job of that particular mode is a great job to keep soul into the experiencing phase all the time. So this manifested state means this mode which made me to get engrossed into my soul, that state of eternal true nature of the soul is also known as pure point of view. Means the action occurring in the mode is a pure point of view for sure, but what is the action? What action it is doing? It is action, is results of the action is engrossment into the pure, engrossment into the eternal soul. So state of getting engrossment into the eternal soul is also known as pure point of view. So the mode is called pure point of view, and the product of the mode, which is the engrossment into the eternal soul, that is also called pure point of view. Both are called pure point of view. So pure point of view word is interchangeable in this stanza. Mainly the action occurs in the mode, So mode is doing pure point of view action. So the pure way, purist will say only in the mode action is occurring. But the result of the action, the fruits of the action, the end result of the action is experiencing of the soul. So that experiencing phase of the soul is also called pure point of view. Mode, if we understand, that is pure point of view. But the results of the mode is to get engrossed into the soul. So that's why that is also called pure point of view. That's all simple way. So substance is also called pure point of view, and mode is also called pure point of view in this stanza. When we come to 13th stanza.
But Kirit uncle, it kind of makes sense because in the experiencing state, it's akhand gnan. So the mode and the substance are really one in that state, right?
Yeah. But in 13th stanza, when we come to, then Acharya Bhagavan will just say, no, only pure mode is a pure point of view. He will just change the topics there. So right now he says both are called pure point of view, but ultimately he will say because action occurs in the mode, so from absolute purest point of view, the mode is doing action. So ultimately in 13th stanza, he will just come back to modal action only. But again, perspective, what perspective he wants to use. And that's why Samaysar becomes a complicated thing for a person who does not get this perspective clarified in his mind. For example, rag, my inclination of attachment state. Because it is not occurring in this box, it is not occurring in this piece of paper, but it is occurring in the soul. 6 substances: soul, matter, medium motion, medium press, space and time. 6 universal substances. 4 are pure substances, so they don't do impurity, so they are out. Only 2 substances can become pure or impure, that's the soul and matter. Now, the matter has no knowledge, matter cannot do inclination of attachment. This paper doesn't say that, hey, you must like me. It doesn't say that. Hold it 1 second. I'm in the classroom. Okay, I'm sorry. So this piece of paper doesn't say that, hey, you must like me or you must dislike me, because it has no knowledge. Likes and dislike occurs within me. I can say, I like this phone today. No. Now the iPhone, next iPhone has come out. So I would like to have a new iPhone. So I don't like this one. Yesterday I liked this one. Today I don't like this one. It is the soul making likes and dislikes. So the rag, inclination of attachment, belongs to the soul. Makes sense? Now we come to Samaysar. Samaysar says, when we talk about soul, I don't talk about soul as a substance, attribute, and modes. Samaysar says, I don't talk about soul as a substance, attribute, and modes. Modes are transient in nature, so they are not part of me because they last only one samay. Because they're transient in nature, they're not my real nature, they're not my eternal nature, so modes are gone in Samaysar language. Attributes, when you just attributes in a divisional way, this is the knowledge attribute, this is faith attribute, this is conduct attribute, and when you start making those divisions, then also It is Samaysar says, we don't, I don't accept the divisions. I only accept indivisible, eternal, true nature of the soul as a soul. Otherwise, the divisional of the attributes and modal parts are not me. Even though they are present within me, but they are not me. Remember 6th and 7th stanza we learned. In 6th stanza it said the modes of Pramat mode and Pramat mode, they are not my nature. In 7th stanza it says knowledge, faith, conduct. In the divisional way when we are making those attributes, there is not my true nature. So even though they are present, but they are made secondary because Samaysar says only eternal, indivisible, true nature of the self is only the one which is my object. From anatomical aspect, soul, substance is there, attributes are there, modes are there, yes, but from purposeful, what is my purpose? What is my aim? What do I want out of all these things? Then I need only eternal soul substance. For example, if I go to the supermarket today, I go to the fruit section, I see varieties of fruits. I see apple, I see oranges, I see grapes, I see pear, and I see bananas. My wife has asked me to bring banana at home. So what do I do now? From all these fruits, multiple fruits are there, I just go and just pick up banana only. And I bring banana, I pay for the banana, I bring banana home. Then my wife says, no, I don't need this banana. I don't need banana with the skin. The real banana is a pulp and that's what I wanted. Wait a second. You mean in the supermarket, I paid the money for the skin and pulp both? Yes, because that's a total nature of the banana. But real purpose of the banana is not the skin. It's a pulp which is there within. Same way, in the soul, attributes, modes, substance, all those things are present. But my most important purposeful thing is what? The pulp of banana. The eternal true nature of the soul is very important. So that's what Samaysar will say. So Samaysar will say, eternal, indivisible, true nature of the soul is only the thing I believe. Rest of the thing, even though they are present, I make them secondary and I consider them as not present within me. So this rag is occurring within me, but it's occurring in the mode, and because it's occurring in the mode, then it is not my true nature. That's what Samaysar will say. So rag at one point occurs in the soul, not in this matter, substance and everything. So rag belongs to me. But when the perspective changes, now Samaysar perspective comes, then eternal soul substance is important. Then even the presence of mode and impure mode like inclination of attachment is also not my true nature. So rag does not belong to me. Wait a second. Just now you said rag is occurring within me, and now you are saying rag is not occurring within me. What is this things going on? Well, you have to understand the perspective business. That's why we took extreme long time in that 11th stanza to understand the partial point of view, absolute point of view, conventional point of view, 4 division of conventional point of view. We made some division into the absolute point of view, and we went at long exercise we did. Now we know it, that who is talking from what perspective. When somebody says, inclusive of attachment does not belong to me, that means he is using Samaysar language. That means he is believing eternal true nature of the soul is only true nature. That's a pulp of that banana, remember? It doesn't belong, it doesn't consider the skin also. But when I'm buying, I had to pay the banana with the skin and pulp both. But when I bring home, only pulp is important. The skin, I throw it out. Same way, here perspective, perspective, perspective. We have to understand those things. So from this perspective, with the help of pure point of view, when one experiences the eternal true nature of the soul, then this manifested state of the eternal true nature is also known as pure point of view. Another perspective Acharya Bhagavan throws towards us. Why do I have to go through all these exercises? Because by dissecting from all the possible angles, now I know what is my true nature. So tomorrow morning, when I sit down, I close my eyes and I start reflective thought process, so-called meditation, reflective thought process. Then I try to analyze, okay, Rag belongs to me from one perspective, but Rag does not belong to me from the purpose action point of view. Means what is my aim into the for knowing all these things? My aim is eternal true nature of the soul. That's why in sixth stanza, it takes the modal point of view, also makes secondary, and thereby removes them. In the seventh stanza, even the divisional aspect of the attributes are made secondary, and thereby telling that it is not true. Because my purpose is eternal true nature of the soul. Eternal, undivided, blissful, total, full of knowledge. That soul is my purpose, my aim. So that's why we have to know this perspective. And many Acharya Bhagavan will take so many turns here and there, and we are going to say to the Acharya Bhagavan, yes, you take the turn, I'm with you, I know what you're talking, I know what perspective you're talking, I'm going to be with you. And that's why we have this intellect right now. This intellect helps us to find it out what is right, what is not right. Now, when we come to 141 stanza, 142, 143, 144 stanza, that will be, it will be the kind of, pick of the things in which Acharya Bhagavan will say, you know what, all this stanza I kept on telling you perspective, 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 perspective. Now, conventional point of view, one perspective, absolute point of view is another perspective, and all those perspectives, they are part of the scriptural knowledge, part of the reflective thought process. Remember what I say? It's part of the reflective thought process. And as long as you have reflective thought process, you will not get primary abstract comprehension. You will not get nirvikalpa. You'll have to give up all those things ultimately. Wait a second, Acharya Bhagavan, you're making me huffing and puffing right now. On the sixth stanza, you're telling me modal state is not mine. And the seventh stanza, you're telling that the division of the attributes are not mine. And now you're just saying all the reflective thought process are not mine. Yes, because ultimately I have to go to nirvikalpa. The knowledge that we gather today, absolute point of view, conventional point of view, reflective thoughts, and all those things, ultimately has to lead me to the nirvikalpa state at the primary abstract comprehensive state. If I don't reach that one, everything else is useless. So all these things I try to understand right now. All those things, ultimately I have to give up also. But of course, stages will come. Right now, these stages are important for us. On 13th spiritual development stage, the omniscience knowledge is shining. The knowledge is shining. Completeness of the objectivity of pure point of view is now achieved. Pure point of view, absolute point of view was meant for me to be getting engrossed unconditionally, uninterruptedly to my eternal soul substance. And that objectivity is achieved. So now pure point of view's job is done. One does not need to take refuge in the pure point of view at this omniscient stage. Now, it just doesn't become, it becomes secondary, way secondary. It's not my important thing at all. At this stage, pure point is fully manifested. Why? Why? Because this bullet here, this bullet, remember that eternal, the pure point of view is occurring in the mode, but the object of the pure point of view is engrossment, total engrossment in the eternal true nature of the soul, which I have achieved. That means pure point of view is fully manifested. Pure point of view's job is completed at that point. So, sorry. So at 13th spiritual development state, motive for the pure point of view is for knowing aspect only. Now, it was there in the past. That's it. Now it is not operational. It is inactive. It is taken care of. His job is done. So it is only for knowing purpose only. Pure point of view was operational from 4th till the 12th spiritual development stage. You know, over here, in the beginning I said, the reflective thoughts are mainly present from 4th, 5th, and 6th spiritual stage. And here my green bullet says 4th to 12th spiritual development stage. Why? Why discrepancy? Why we are saying that the reflective thoughts are present only 4th, 5th, and 6th, and over here we are saying that reflective, pure point of view means reflective thought process. That means scriptural knowledge is present from 4th to 12th spiritual development stage. Why? Why there is difference? Why there is discrepancy? You understand this? The question that I'm raising. We are saying mainly 4th, 5th, and 6th stages, there are reflective thought process present. 7th onwards, there is primary abstract comprehension going on till 12th spiritual stage. There is a caveat over here. Remember, at a 4th spiritual development stage, we have taken Anantanubandhi, Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobh, the toxic emotions out. Means those, the 4. Anantanubandhi, Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobh, Pratyakhyanavan, Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobh, Pratyakhanam, Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobh, Sanjvalan, Krodh, Man, Maya, Lobh. Means there are 4 times 4 means 16 types of toxic emotions are present, out of which at 4th spiritual stage, 4 parts of the toxic emotional stage are that anger, deceit, ego, greed of Anantanubandhi, means infinite karma bonding toxic emotions are gone. When those things are gone, these 3 are very weak right now. At 5th stage, 2nd stage, 2nd one is gone. 6th one is, 3rd one is gone. And the 4th one goes out at the end of 10th spiritual development state. So 4th, 5th, and 6th reflective thought process are present in the person who has just obtained samyak darshan, means enlightenment. 5th spiritual state is a householder stage, and 6th spiritual development stage is a stage of the monk. Now, monk has reflective thought process, that's why he's on 6th spiritual state. Monk, he does not have reflective thought process, he's in nirvikalpa, he is in primary abstract comprehension state, that is a 7th spiritual state. But between 7th and 10th, there is still presence of Sanjvalan, Krodman, Mayalo. Very feeble anger, deceit, ego, greed are present. So even though the soul from 7th, 8th, 9th, and end of 10th, he is into primary abstract comprehension, nirvikalpa state, he still has undergoing under the radar those 4 anger, deceit, ego, greed, or feeble types of toxic emotions are operational under the radar. Means the intellect is not able to pick up those actions. Intellect is able to pick up only the primary abstract comprehension. That becomes a dominant force. And that's why indirectly, under the radar, abuddhi purvak, Krodman Mayalop of Sanjvalan Kashai, they are still going on, and that's why some reflective thought process is going on, but soul is in so much primary abstract comprehensive state that he is not able to pick up those things. That's why they are called under the radar, they are called abuddhi purvak no rag. And that's why end of 10th will bring 12th spiritual development state, in which there is no karma, there is no deluding karma present completely. So 4th to 12th spiritual development state. So now that clarifies that point in our mind. Did you understand that point? It's kind of little tricky thing. Okay, there is no question there. Then a 13th spiritual development says objectivity, the pure point of view is achieved. Pure point of view has achieved the total purity of the soul. Now there is no need to take refuge in the pure point of view. And now there is total engrossment in the eternal true nature of the self forever. Now, quickly, we'll just take this last slide here. For an aspirant soul, when purity has started but not yet completed, 4th to 12th spiritual stage, then he has impurity present within him. These impurities of the reflective thought process could be intellectually he is able to perceive, or intellectually he is not able to perceive, but those reflective thought process actions are going on from 4th to the end of 10th or up to 12th. From 10th, it comes to 12th spiritual stage. 11th is not in the picture right now. We will talk that one later on sometimes. Right now, time is, I want to finish this slide. Next week, maybe we'll just talk about 11th spiritual state. As the purity increases, the impurities keeps on decreasing progressively. Purity keeps on increasing, impurity keeps on decreasing. This associative impurity state is known as conventional point of view. Absolute point of view is purity. Impurity going down is a convention point of view. And aspirant soul is aware of this conventional point of view. व्यवहार नहीं जाने लो प्रयोजन वांछे. aspirant soul is aware of it, that he has reflected thought process still going on from 4th all the way up to end of 10th or up to 12th. He is aware of that thing. So he knows that conventional point of view is present. It is only for knowledge purpose, knowing purpose. It is not for adoration purpose. It is not any helpful to him. I have an abscess on my hand. I know that part. But I know it's my impurity that needs to be removed. That needs to be removed. It doesn't have to be kept with me all the time. So that's why for aspirant soul, conventional point of view is jane lo projan vanche. It is mainly making him aware of it. He does not adore that stage. So here we are going to stop probably. If there is a question, we can take it. And we will just talk about the 11th state next week. So that way it will give clarity. Right now we just said 4th to 12th means we are omitting 11th spiritual development state. Why? We will discuss that next week. Any questions?
Thank you, Uncle.
Thank you, Kirit Uncle. Actually, I have a question for you. Are you going to be in Sedona for a while?
One night only.
Are you going back to Phoenix?
Tomorrow we'll be going back. Yeah.
Okay. I have something I shipped to your house. That's why.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No problem. Okay. All right. Thanks.
So that's all. You should get it then. Is somebody picking your mail there?
Yeah. Somebody will be there. Okay.
Okay, fine.
Thanks, my dear. Okay.
No problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks. Kathy, this was a little bit more, a super microscopic thing, and I know you may have lots of questions in your mind. Give me a call at your convenience, please. Because and you know, we can go through those questions. I know you have this. I can read your mind right now. You have lots and lots of questions in your mind right now, but don't worry about it. Within our capacity, we'll try to answer, you know. And not all the time I may have answered, like last time. Ankit has thrown that curveball to me and I had no answer. And I had to talk to Hemant Bhai, to whom I consider him as my mentor. And he explained to me. So I may not have all the answer, but whatever I have, and whatever things that I know, we can just action those views, okay?
Yes.
Javani ke jnana se suje lokalo, sovani mastaka namo sada deta hudu. 9 times namo ka mantra. Namo orienta, namo siddhana, namo arya, namo jam, namo loe sausam. Namo orienta, namo siddhana, namo arya, namo jam, namo loe sausam. Namo orienta, namo siddhana, namo arya, namo jam, namo loe sausam. Namo orienta, namo siddhana, namo arya, namo jam, namo loe sausam. Namo orienta, namo siddhana, namo arya, namo jam, namo loe sausam. Namo orienta, namo siddhana, namo arya, namo jam, namo loe sausam. Namo orienta, namo siddhana, namo arya, namo jam, namo loe sausam. Namo orienta, namo siddhana, namo arya, namo jam, namo loe sausam. Namo orienta, namo siddhana, namo arya, namo jam, namo loe sausam. Jai Jinendra, Michami. Thank you. We'll see you next week, okay?